pantry and I'm just gathering some ingredients what we're going to need for the stuffed peppers and cabbages. So what shall we have? We might have this crushed tomato Italian spice blend. And we can take a few of these tomato juice. You need tomato paste as well. And what else? I think that's it. If we missed anything, we can always come back. Let's make the stuffed peppers and cabbages. First of all, what I'm gonna do in this big dish, I'm just going to put some of the ingredients there. So what I am using, this is venison, extra lean mince. Just try to see how much this is in weight. Doesn't say. Let's weigh this because I really want to know. This venison is from a local farmer. Let's see. I'm just going to marinate the meat a little bit. So this is 513, so half a kilogram. Let's say half a kilogram. So we've got venison and beef today. We're going to mix those two minced meats to make today's meal. Right, so now we've got 1 kilogram. And then we've got the beef. The beef is also from a local farmer. So let's put the beef in. But actually I wanted to weigh this as well. Let's weigh this as well actually. I'm just curious about the measurements. Right, let's do it again. 0. So the beef is gonna be, looks like a kilogram, maybe a little bit over. Yeah. So we are. This is 1.2 kilograms. So let's say 2.2 kilograms of meat we are working with today. And so just a little bit of a head start so this meat can marinate. It smells so fresh. Right, just give it a good mix. And I'm gonna wash my hands and put some spices in there. Right, so we've got the 2.2 kilograms of meat, mixed venison and beef. And let's put the rest of the spices and let them marinate a little bit. So I'm going to pour 2 teaspoons of sweet pepper powder, 1 teaspoon of white peppercorn, 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of black peppercorn. Just gonna use these up again. This is about a couple of teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of goulash powder. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of barbecue seasoning. Make a nice flavor. And we're going to add some dill, a couple of teaspoons, say 2 teaspoons of dill, and I'm going to put some, we're going to mince some garlic cloves, maybe about, these are such different sizes so it's hard to tell, I would say about 10 cloves. That's the reason I really like to have them peeled in a jar in the fridge, because it's really handy for the jobs like today when you really need a lot. And I'm just going to mix this real well and just leave it to it for a bit so you can marinate a bit. Then if you can think of something else you can use, I think I put too much, friends. Try to be ahead of the game in here. Then you can always put it after. So to this mixture will go some rice. I'm not going to cook the rice today. You just put it, I'm just going to wash and mix it in with it. And then I'm just going to put some onion in there, some sausage, bacon, lots of goodness in here, and then some sauces what we've picked from the pantry. We also picked out some Cajun Mexican basil tomato and some barbecue sauce I've made last year. Right, I'm gonna give this a good mix and just leave it to it for an hour. I'm just gonna add this mixed vegetable, dried mixed vegetables I've made, and some of these parsley. Alright, the next job is to peel that horseradish we've just harvested yesterday, and I'm not gonna make horseradish sauce because some of these recipes I can, and to can dairy it's not advised. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to peel this and I'm going to put it in a blender, chop it up, and then we're just going to use as the recipe calls for it. Also I'm going to, I've picked 3 onions we've harvested a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just going to saute that or possibly caramelize, and that's gonna be part of our stuffed pepper and cabbages recipe. Smells gorgeous, the horseradish. I love horseradish sauce. I'm probably gonna make some horseradish sauce because I haven't got any fresh in the fridge. So whatever leftover is from today, that will end up as a horseradish sauce. And I took out some diced venison by mistake. I thought it was mincemeat, so I might make something with that, and with the horseradish sauce would be just a nice companion with it. Oh, so good. I'm just going to wash all those peppers. I try to have a taste test with you, and I try to, let's see if I can remember the variety. And I need to make a note because I was watching back my videos from last year, and actually for the stuffed pepper there was one called, I think it's called Rubinova, the Czech variety, and that was actually the best. So I've not took a note from that. I'm not saying that this year's is not good, but that was like massive, such a large, lovely stuffer. So I need to remember that next time. So I need to remember the varieties and I need to write it down what we like so I can grow them again next year. I am going to use some of these sausages in our meal. Just took it out of the freezer not long ago. The only job I've done yesterday regarding meat, I've took some meat out from the freezer, the meat, the bacon and the lard, and I forgot the sausage, so I took this out a couple of hours ago, but it's now all fully thawed. So I'm just gonna take the skin off and just gonna dice it. One piece like that, it's going to be enough. Had this bacon in a freezer. What I really should have done, really, just took out what I need and put the rest back. I'm going to put this with the sausage. While preparing the onions. That's enough. What do you think, Sandy? I'm going to prep the onions next. I'm using 3 large onions in this recipe. I've also washed the carrots. I want to try these carrots. Maybe just slice it like this. Thin slices. Okay, let's try this carrot. That's delicious. You want carrot, Sam? Oh, so good. Let's try the purple one. Oh, that is deep purple. Different flavour. I think the orange one is more sweet, but this one is really yummy. Just scrub these carrots and I'm going to wash it again. Now I'm just going to put this through the dicer. the bacon and the sausage cook down nicely. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove the bacon and the sausage, and I'm going to saute the onion in a leftover fat. So while the onion is cooking, we're going to have a taste test on our peppers. I didn't need the lard. Look how much fat in here. Smells gorgeous. Right. Let's leave it to it. I've grated the horseradish. Oh, it's strong. It looks like this at the moment. I'm going to remove this. Let's put it in his plate so we can grate the carrot. And you know, I leave this in here so that can give some extra flavor for our meal. Let's check. Ooh, that's perfect. I like this. I like this texture. It happened in a few seconds. Wow. Oh, it smells gorgeous with the horseradish. Oh, it's good. I'm going to add 1 cup of white rice to 1 kilogram of meat today. And I'm going to wash the rice. And we're going to mix this together with that meat, what's been marinating there now for a while. I'm just gonna wash this rice so we can mix then together with this meat. By the way, look at my fingers. That is from the purple carrot. I've only peeled like maybe 2-3 of this purple carrot. And yeah, I think it's hilarious. Let's turn in the water purple now with the rice. I'll just wash it a few times and that's fine. Just going to add this with the meat. Give it a good stir, and then we have pepper test, and we're going to deal with the peppers and wash them and get them ready for stuffing. Looking amazing. Smells amazing. Right, let's see how many we can remember of these peppers. I'm not sure now, we only harvested yesterday. I just want to have a taste test. So, just want to taste them all raw. So this one is the Red Bull's Horn. Let's see what that tastes like. Oh, it's delicious. That is so sweet. Right. Yellow Monster next. Nice. So sweet as well. Sweet chocolate. And I think I'm gonna stuff. They all taste lovely. I think this one is the Capia. I would have a hard time to choose which one is the best. This one is gonna be the which one is it? This one is not slightly bit spicy, not sweet. That's interesting, didn't know that. That's one of the stuffer. Paprika pepper, this one. That's sweet, crunchy. But I forgot the variety of the other one. What it was. You have to go and check. Wow. But yeah, okay. That's interesting. I'm glad I've tried this. So what I do now, I just take the seeds out. I'm gonna discard that. And that's where we're going to stuff the meat mixture. Just gonna cover this meat. So I'm just gonna go through most of the peppers. This is gonna be a good freezer meal as well, so we can fill the freezer with this lovely, one of my favorite meal. And well, actually what I like doing when I do kind of a fall time, I like to decorate this as a little pumpkin. You might do that. We'll see how it goes, if you're going to have another good harvest. But they just... So the flavor profile is similar, but it's different. And they all look different as well. But I think it's always... It's like more appetizing on, you know, on plate as well. So I'm carry on doing this now, and I'm going to wash the rest of the peppers. What's over there, I'll show you. So I'm gonna wash all these, and probably we're not gonna use them up all, but the most of it. It's just such a wonderful harvest. I'm so proud of it. And then I'm gonna deal with the cabbage as well next. Put the salted onion and the grated carrot in this rice and meat mixture, and I'm going to give them a good mix while we are getting ready the rest of the peppers. Also, I'm going to put to the meat mixture, I'm going to put some barbecue sauce for some extra flavor. And we're going to put a pint Cajun Mexican basil tomato sauce. I think I'm doing, I am slightly trying to soften up this cabbage leaf, not cook it, just so these cabbage slices then can just come off. It will be easier to fill our meat mixture. I am ready to stuff these peppers. So I've got my meat dish here, and I've got all these peppers. They're empty now, so I've removed all the stems and seeds. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to put them, stuff the peppers, and at the moment I'm just going to put them anywhere until I decide, because it's such a huge amount, and I haven't even thought about the cabbage yet, that I'm not sure actually how we're gonna cook it. I do like to use the enamel cast iron pot, what I've got two, what we made the jam in, but I can't fit loads in there. So what I might do, actually, I might fill those two first, and then we'll see whatever leftover is gonna be after that, what we're gonna do with it. I can actually freeze it, but I would prefer freezing it when it's done. So it's just, you know, the thing is just to take it out of the freezer and heat it up. So yeah. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? Just a little bit of a tomato paste. This is good. Put half a pint. Leave the rest for the sauce. But yeah. Okay. I don't want to stuff it too much, but just like that. This is the meal when I was growing up. My mum and dad, my grandma used to make this a lot, and it was one of my favorite childhood food, to be honest. So not just brings back so much memories, but the tastes and, you know, health reasons as well. Just so much going on in this meal. It's very time consuming, especially if I do this huge amount, but it's time consuming anyway, doesn't matter how much you do. So the reason I not do it often, but when I do it, I spare a day or half a day for it, and then I'll just make loads. So we can just put it in a freezer, and honestly freezes so well. Even after 3 months, 6 months later, I'll just take it out of that freezer, and it tastes like nearly like fresh, to be honest. So this is something I do this now every year when our pepper harvest is in the peak. So I'm just gonna stuff all these peppers. We're gonna have a look the cabbage doing in that big pot, and then we're gonna do the cabbages next and make the brine. With the brine I'm gonna use tomato sauce, that flavoured tomato sauce what we just took out of the pantry, and that tomato puree. I might put some water as well in it and just pour it over the dish, whatever I'm cooking in it. So I'll definitely use this pot for some smaller ones that I can kind of stand in there, and that can go to the oven, because now it's 7 o'clock in the evening, so I might have to come back to it tomorrow as well. But never mind, this mixture actually, even if I don't use it or cook it today, it will be fine. Just keep marinating and nice flavourful, and I can just finish the jobs off tomorrow. These bell peppers actually stuff really well. It's just a little bit tougher, that skin needs cooking longer. I'm just gonna make the sauce. So I've just put the remaining tomato paste to this jug and went back and fill this up with water. So make sure we use up all the good bits on that. And now I'm just gonna open up one by one this tomato juice, what we've canned from last year's tomatoes, and we're just going to pour everything together, and that's going to be our sauce, what goes over the peppers. And we've got some crushed tomato Italian spice blend. I'm sure this is from 2 years ago, friends. We've canned this. That might be a little bit spiciness. smells lovely. Right, we've got quite a bit of juice there now. Also put some bay leaves in there as well for some extra flavour. I'll use up all these jars. There's another tomato juice there and another Cajun spice blend. Italian spice blend. Next. Okay. Right, I'm gonna set this aside for a sec. And let's check in this cabbages. I just wanted to make sure that, so I think they should be alright now. Might remove a few. So these cabbages are not cooked, just slightly softened, so I can work with them easier. I'll wait until they cool down a touch. And just carry on stuffing these peppers now. Okay, is that filled? No. I've decided to fill all these peppers. I don't even know how many we've got. I've not counted it yet. It's loads. Got plenty meat mixture, so no problem. And I usually serve this with sourdough crusty bread or really good with mashed potato on its own with a bit of sour cream on the top. So there are some options there. This one's oh, that's done. Oh, it was a bit heavy. Right, nearly there. I just want to show you, it's cooled down now, how I do. Sometimes if this is tough a bit, I just cut this off a little bit like that. That can be a bit hard. And then with the rest, I just get like a handful and put it in a center, like that. Maybe a bit more. And then just wrap it up like that and tuck the both sides in, and that's it. That's our stuffed cabbage rolls. All the peppers are now stuffed, so the next I'm gonna be the cabbages. I've put the grated horseradish in this jar and I'm gonna put it in the fridge until tomorrow. So I cut a little bit of that stemmy bit if it's too tough, and then And then we fill that in like that. Push that in both sides. Perfect. If it's a smaller cabbage, we put a smaller filling in. If it's a larger, put more in. Like that. Well, actually, I just remembered I've got some fermented cabbage leaves as well. If it's any meat left, I am going to grab a few and we're going to stuff those as well, and we make some more of that fermented cabbage leaves from these cabbages this year as well. This been now in a pantry for probably a year. So I just take same fresh cabbage like this one, stuck them in a jar, and then just ferment it as any other vegetables we would do. And so this is the same cabbage leaf, and I actually prefer this. I really like that sour fermented flavor. And we just stuff it exactly the same as we would do with a fresh leaf. Just like that. We're gonna use all this up now, so I don't want putting my hands in. We're gonna pour this over the food. Oh, it smells gorgeous. Perfect. I do loads like this year because I really love it this way. Okay, all the cabbages and peppers are now stuffed and ready to go to the oven. But because it's too late, it's 20 to 8, I'm gonna put everything in a fridge and we do it tomorrow. It is the next day and look all these beautiful dishes. They are now ready to go to the oven. I'm gonna put few in the roasting and few in the baking oven. And I might have to put some in my normal oven. So what we've got in here, I've separated the cabbages from the peppers, and then I've put the tomato sauce over and that brine from the sauerkraut, a little bit on the top. I spread the bacon and the sausage, what we cooked before we cooked the onion and put a few bay leaves on the top. And probably will take a few hours in the oven. Hour and 15 minutes in a roasting oven in the aga, and this is already looking and smelling delicious. I will now remove the lid and I'm going to put this back for another half an hour. Half of the stuffed peppers and cabbages are now done. It took me about 2.5 hours to make it, and a second batch is now ready to go to the oven. Let me show you closer how beautiful this looks now. So this looks amazing and smells delicious. So I'll took for I think about 40 minutes the lid off, and I've put it back before that for another half an hour with the lid on. So this is now definitely cooked. This one goes in. It's the third day now on the cabbages and the stuffed peppers, and I'm going to serve this with mashed potato today for dinner, and we're going to have a taste test. With this dish, honestly, the longer it sits in a fridge, it better and tastier it gets. Obviously, I'm not gonna leave it for too long, but wow, this smells so good. I'm just gonna heat this up, and then we're going to have a taste test. Look how delicious this is looking. Let's have a taste test. I'm also serving this with some homemade sauerkraut. No sauerkraut, sour cream. Just made the sauerkraut, so I've got that in my head now. Sour cream and some mashed potato. So it's a favorite part. Have a taste test. Let's try the pepper first, and then we're gonna try the cabbage. That is good. Delicious. Let's try the cabbage. Really yummy. So I'm gonna call Aaron. I'm gonna have dinner. Cannot wait to finish this off. It is really, really tasty. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me to making this beautiful meal, and see you very soon. Bye friends!